Peter. 51 kilos she gets in with, and I think this horse has a terrific chance. She had no luck in the concluding stages in the Caulfield Cup, and she's nice and relaxed there. She'll run out the distance. She's a strong chance.
The mystery horse, number 23, Perpetual Check, carrying the colours that Saintly carried to victory 2 years ago, is trained by the greatest Melbourne Cup trainer of all time, J.B. Cummings, and Lenny Beasley has his second ride.
Well, he's very lightly raced Perpetual Check, and I just wonder whether or not he's quite up to it at this stage, so no, I could leave him out.
And the Derby winner, number 24, Arena, Corey Brown, his first ride. John Hawkes is the trainer, the last horse to win the Derby Cup double, Skipton in 1941.
Arena comes in with a nice lightweight, Peter, and he looks quite well there on screen. Corey Brown has boasted a lot of his weight here, and I just wonder whether he's quite up to it.
So there are the 24 runners for the Foster's Melbourne Cup of 1998. Let's check out the tote figures with our race caller, Dan Malicki.
Thank you, Pete. It's Faithful Son at $7.70 and favourite on the tote. Whether you like them as favourites or outsiders, tie the knots at $10, Markham at $37, number 9. Sheer Danzig, one of the imports, at $26. Aerosmith at $11. Number 15, Peak of Perfection, is $110, and that's only for the win, and $29 for the place. 18, Yorkshire at in excess of $50. Second Coming at $73, Ancient City $88, The Mares, Champagne and Jezebel $11 and $12 respectively, which is big overs at the moment for Jezebel. 25 Perpetual Check, Bart Cummings trying to win 11 Melbourne Cups, and the 3-year-old Arena at $11. So $7.70 the field on the 1998 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
They're going to the stalls. There's been a flood of activity in the betting ring. We have two forms of betting in Australia, bookmakers and the tote. There'll be millions of dollars waged in this area. Tim Gossage can tell us more.
It's been one of the most amazing betting races I've ever witnessed. If you reckon Might and Power's plunge last year was big, there's almost 5 equal favourites in this race. The biggest money today has been for number 22, Jezebel. 12 to 1 on the tote. You can only get about half that in the bookmakers ring. Faithful Son has got a few admirers, and then Arena and others. But I tell you what, the best money's for Jezebel.
Tim Gossage in the betting ring, and there it is, the most famous trophy in all of Australian sport. They're running for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. They'll be doing so in just a few minutes' time, and you'll be able to see it right here on Network 10. Look. The Foster's Melbourne Cup of 1998, the best part of 100,000 people here at Flemington, about 500 million around the world. So wherever you're watching, from a major hotel, your lounge chair at home, a bar or a club, Peter Donegan, the betting slips are clutched, everybody's tense, the nation has stopped. And watching on and remembering days gone by, champion jockey Roy Higgins, who won this race twice. Roy, have you got the tingle up the back of the spine?
It certainly does to you on a day like today. My memories go back into the 1960s, but gee, the massive crowd. It's a wonderful sight here today. I stuck with our adopted international friends here in the 3 from New Zealand in number 12, Aerosmith. Thought he looked excellent after his good run here on Saturday. Certainly the 2 mares, Jezebel number 22 and 18 Champagne, the winner of the McKinnon Stakes here on Saturday. She looked outstanding in the yard, and certainly from the international point of view, Faithful Son, he stood out head and heels above the rest of them. I marked them 12, 22, 18 and 2. Pete?
The thoughts of dual Melbourne Cup winning jockey Roy Higgins. Quick update from Tim Gossage.
The massive betting plunge is complete. Jezebel will run Cup favourite. Its price is slashed by half.
And now, as we do every year, we stop and we wait in anticipation for 3.5 minutes. Our nation is united to watch this, our greatest sporting event. And in 98, it's Australia versus the rest of the world, and the foreign invaders are here in numbers. May the race be cleanly run. May we find a worthy champion. For his 10th call on Network 10, Dan Malicki. With him in the commentary box is Gary Willis.
Yes, the last one's gone in, so they're all set. The big roar will come up for the Race of Dreams.
All set to go for the Melbourne Cup. Big field, capacity field of 24. They're racing in the Cup, and they've caught them in just about a perfect line. Darazari jumped out well. Faithful Son will end up about 6th or 7th in the early part. 3 Crowns have jumped well with a stablemate, Peak of Perfection. They're both going forward. Jezebel across from a wide alley. Gold Guru forward in the early part. Second coming up there, Faithful Son, Darazari. Not far behind those runners was Perpetual Check and also Arena. Torfin's Melody up forward, Aerosmith just in front of it, Sheer Danzig midfield, easing back across but 3 wide. Champagne's in about 10th spot early, Perpetual Check, Bailey Check, Skybow all but fell. So nearly a bad fall in the early part of the race. Skybow back onto his feet, but they'll badly check those 2 runners. Heading down the straight, they still jostle for the lead. 3 Crowns tackled by Second Coming and Aerosmith, who's 3 wide. Gold Guru 4th, a length and a half away was Arena. Jezebel has settled well. Then Faithful Sun outside Darazari. Peak of Perfection next on the inside of Torfin's Melody. Then Yorkshire midfield, the inside of Champagne. Travelling wide was Persian Punch, and then Sheer Danzig, who got over to the rails. Perpetual Check next. The Hind 3 deep and Skybow the centre. Then Markham and Doremus. 2 lengths Ancient City. Yippee-I-Yo, Tie the Knot. Jostick second last and Count Shivers at the rear of the field. 1800 to go down the side, and the leader is 3 Crowns by a length and a half. Running second, Second Coming. 3 lengths away, Aerosmith. Arena, the 3-year-old 4th. In 5th spot, Gold Guru. Then Darazari. Persian Punch off the track, 3 deep around Jezebel. Peak of Perfection on the rails, and then Faithful Sun. Next is Yorkshire from Sheer Danzig, Torfin's Melody. Champagne a bit worse than midfield from Perpetual Check. The Hind 3 deep, and then Skybow and Markham. Yippee-I-Yo getting back from Doremus. Ancient City, Tie the Knot. Jostick's on the outside of Count Shivers, who's last, and about 12 lengths off the lead. Inside the 1400, and 3 Crowns a length and a half in front. Second Coming is second, 4 lengths away, Arena. On its outside was Aerosmith. Gold Guru 3 deep, and then Darazari. Right off the track was Persian Punch. Jezebel in the centre. Then came Peak of Perfection on the inside of Faithful Sun. He's 6 lengths off the lead. Next, Yorkshire on the rails from Sheer Danzig, and then came Champagne. The Hind has never been on the track. He's around Champagne, and then came Perpetual Check and Skybow. Further out on the track then as they come down towards the 1,000 metres. Markham on the rails from Tie the Knot. Doremus ahead of it. Ancient City going forward 3 deep. Yippee-I-Yo's about midfield. Count Shivers well back, and so was Jostick's. 800 to go. And Persian Punch wide up, moved up to hit the lead. Gold Guru trying to go with him. Aerosmith has scrubbed up. 3 Crowns on the rails from Second Coming under pressure. Jezebel behind them, and Faithful Sun working into it stylishly with Torfin's Melody. Around the turn in the cup, and it's Jezebel going up to Persian Punch. Faithful Sun wider than Torfin's Melody. Champagne runs into it. Aerosmith look beaten, then Darazari. Jezebel the leader. Here's the other mare, Champagne. Champagne looming up to Jezebel. Then Torfin's Melody. Perpetual Check battling on Faithful Sun. It's the mares, Champagne, Jezebel. Clear from Yorkshire, Torfin's Melody. Champagne in front of Jezebel. Persian Punch and Torfin's Melody. Champagne and Jezebel. Jezebel's fighting back on the rails and won the cup. Jezebel fought back to win and beat Champagne at Quinella for the mares. Then Yorkshire and Persian Punch close up from Torfin's Melody. Skybow, Tie the Knot. Then Faithful Sun, he couldn't run the trip. Then Darazari, Jostick's next in. Well back in the field would have been 3 Crowns, Perpetual Check and Markham. Then came Sheer Danzig, Aerosmith, Yippee-I-Yo the Hind, Doremus, Count Shivers, Ancient City, and over the line of the tail of the field, Gold Guru and Second Coming. And there's one that's been pulled up, broken down, 3 Crowns at about the 300. His stablemate finished well back, and 3 Crowns unfortunately has broken down. Second Coming will be officially last over the line. And it's the mares. 22 Jezebel fighting back to beat Champagne, who looked all over a winner. And officially third in the cup is number 3 Persian Punch, narrowly ahead of Torfin's Melody and also Yorkshire.
Well, Chrissy Muntz, this is your moment. He's been a great rider. Always seems to, get up in the big races. But today I actually thought Champagne had his measure. But gee, she just ground him into the ground, Jezebel. She came back, she just wouldn't lay down. Incredible.
John Letts with Chris Muntz, the Melbourne Cup jockey.
Hey, Chris, what about this? You've won the Golden Slipper and all the big races in Sydney. How does it compare?
Oh, mate, this is unbelievable.
And Chris, at the last 200 metres fighting it out with Champagne.
Mate, Glenn's a great mate of mine, and he's a great rider, great competitor. And I thought when he shot clear, I thought, well, he's got me beat. To be honest, I was glad it was him and not a European, but anyway. But, mate, when I run him down, I was
Chris, the Australian public stuck with you. I think you went out favourite in the race.
They're the most loyal lot of people you'd ever want to meet.
And
I've had the greatest confidence build up just being here the last few days, Johnny. It's unbelievable.
well, you've got 100,000 people out there all with you, Chrissy. Now, look, safe at this moment. You might win another one later, but, mate, you've won a big one.
Oh, mate. My beautiful wife. I've got some great friends and family in Brisbane who beat the race today. This is for you guys. My family at home on the rivers and my beautiful wife and children home watching. I love yous all, and we done it. Woo!
Good on you, Chrissy.
A very excited Chris Muntz and a no less excited trainer Brian Jenkins after Jezebel's stirring victory. Well, how's the heart rate?
Oh, fantastic. Chris Muntz is the best rider in Australia. I said it before this race to a Queensland reporter the other day. Somebody said to me, no, he's as good as any. I said, he's not as good as any. He's better than any of them. He's a great rider. He's underrated. He's the best rider in Australia. And he doesn't have an ego to go with it.
You look pretty calm on the outside. Are you calm on the inside?
No, I'm shaking like a leaf. I feel fantastic. It's every bit as, it's fantastic. You just can't describe it.
What about when Champagne ran to you, Brian? Because it looks certain that she was going to beat you.
No, she don't give up, this mare. That's what everybody said in the Caulfield Cup, that she wasn't going to get past Torfton's Mallee, which is rubbish. This mare just doesn't weaken. She does not weaken. She runs home. She doesn't weaken in those sectionals. In staying races, horses slow down. She doesn't. She maintains her gallop to the line.
Do you welcome the international invasion? You've proven the best horse in the race.
Always welcome them. You'll have to send their good horses in the future. They can't send their second raters.
And finally, there was one of the biggest plunges in Melbourne Cup history. Any of it yours?
We backed it very early on. We got great odds on it.
Brian, congratulations.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Jezebel's trainer, Brian Jenkins, amongst these great scenes down here in the mounting yard. And look at Chris Muntz returning to the scale in an incredible Melbourne Cup finish. I thought no question that Champagne was going to run past this mare with about 150 metres to go, but she dug deep. She gave it everything she had, and it's taken her all the way to glory. One of the great scenes in Australian sport. Chris Muntz, one of the smallest men in the jockeys' ranks. Today he is little big man because he's won the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And have a listen to the ovation as he comes back to the place where the great horses such as Farlap and Carbine have proudly walked, heading towards the winner's stall on the first Tuesday in November. One quality you want in a racehorse is courage, and that mare has shown plenty of that. And as I just said to Brian Jenkins, this is one of the biggest plunges in Melbourne Cup history, surely. This horse has been backed in a luckless passage in the Caulfield Cup. And all of a sudden, ridden a beautiful race by Chris Muntz, the breaks have come the way of the mare. And the Kiwi becomes the first horse in history to win the Auckland Cup, Melbourne Cup double. No wonder there's a huge smile on that little face of Chris Muntz. Number 22 Jezebel beating number 21 Champagne. And let's not forget the runner-up. She presented herself almost to win the race at the 200-metre mark. The query was whether she'd run 3,200 metres, and I reckon she's run about 3,190. Unfortunately for the connections of Champagne. Look at him, Chris Muntz. Chris Muntz absolutely beside himself as he heads to the scales now. Mark Aston is waiting over there, and very shortly we'll join Mark. There is Champagne, the gallant mare. What a wonderful race she ran, and third placing in the Melbourne Cup, going to number 3, and that is Persian Punch. Faithful Son ran up to them at about the 400-metre mark. I thought he was going to be in the race, but he too just didn't quite run out the 3,200 metres. So now it's time for a sigh of relief, to get all the gear, to wait for Mr. Des Gleeson, and then he'll hand him the skull cap and the whip, and he'll look at the scales and sincerely hope that the needle goes around to the allotted weight of 51 kilos.
51, thank you.
And it does. And here is Chris Muntz with Mark Aston.
Thank you very much, Peter. Chris Muntz, tell the world how you feel.
Oh, it really can't be explained, mate. It's a dream for every jockey to be winning a Melbourne Cup, and this is only my second ride in the race, and to win it on this mare, it's just unbelievable. It's the greatest thing in my life, apart from my children.
What was your plan early?
I had to use her speed to get in a position from my draw. I knew she had good speed out of the barriers, and I made use of it. She's the nicest ride. She dropped the bit like a real stayer does. And when I was following Aerosmith, I thought just a matter of the brakes coming now.
It was a sparkling ride.
It was a nice ride, yeah. You know, I don't give myself a rap, but it was probably nearly a 10 out of 10 ride. And like I said, as soon as I followed Aerosmith, it was always over.
You feel a little sorry for Glenn Boss on Champagne?
Oh, no, Glenn's a great competitor. He's a great mate of mine, you know, and it's a bit unfortunate, but these things are meant to happen, mate. They're meant to try us.
How did you feel when Champagne headed you?
Oh, I thought I was going to get beat. You know, I knew that my mare was the best 2-mile runner, but I thought the way he dashed so quick, I was going to get beat.
Well, the Connections were pretty happy and they were very confident, or someone was, because there was an enormous plunge.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it just goes to show that I was right in the Caulfield Cup. I think she should have won the race, and this squares up.
Congratulations, Chris Muntz. Enjoy.
A delighted Chris Muntz, and there is Jezebel after her stirring win. Let's have a look at the concluding stages again. And this wonderful battle, you can see that Persian Punches on the right of screen. Jezebel in the centre, arrowed. Champagne looming up on the outside. And with the rider obviously confident at this stage, Glenn Boss, Champagne ran up and probably got about a neck in front. She rolled in a little bit on Torfan's Melody here, and you can see there wasn't a great deal of room for Faithful Son. Chris Muntz kept on riding on Jezebel. 3 Crowns in the background, unfortunately breaking down. Champagne's clear at this stage, but Muntz is desperate.